Okay, so we are removing the engine and we are going to try and put it back the way that it came out. So to give us a fighting chance, we're just going to take the engine off. You buy the engine mounts that go into the boat and keep everything else above that sort of intact. Then all we need to do is just make sure these are kind of aligned to give us a fighting chance with the alignment with the prop shaft when we've come to put everything back together. So with a little Sharpie, we're going to just draw around each engine mount, and it will give us a bit of a steer and an indication of where we're going with it. So job number one. Okay, one of the jobs to get the engine out, you obviously need to get everything that is attached to the engine off of the engine. One of those things is the prop shaft. This is pretty tricky to get to, and we're using two spanners, one on the other side, one on one side, one the other, and just trying to effectively, yeah, just crack them open and get them off. But yeah, it's a real weird angle, and it's taking a lot longer than it probably should do. So just down in that connection bit there. Now I just tightened it back up instead of undoing it. I was doing it the same way. Anyway. Right, so we've undone the engine mounts from the bearers, and it's now at the point where it's ready to come out. So it's just the point where you stop and think, okay, is there anything that could go wrong, and what am I doing and why am I doing it? No. But yeah, one of the concerns was that the sump under the engine would potentially knock our sea strainer as we're bringing it out if we couldn't get it high enough and get it over it in time. The ideal solution would be just to take it off, I suppose. As we are floating, the question was that whether I knew the condition of the fitting, the skin fitting, and whether undoing it is a good idea if it is brittle or if it's old, seeing as we're floating and seeing as the sea's right there. So right. So instead, which might sound crazy, I'm just going to cut down a bit of wood and prop it between the sea strainer and the SAILBOATs there. So if it gets knocked, the top will get knocked first, and that's just going to brace it. It won't be for long if it does hit it. It will just be a quick knock, I'm sure. So that should keep us safe. Okay, so we're at the point now where we're about to go for it. So the rig we are using, instead of using off the boom, we've got a bit of metal rigged over the companionway, and we're just effectively using blocks and rope. And what we've got is a bit of strapping around each of the engine mounts, and that's then feeding up to our lifting pulley. We've got a second block going from the stern mounts just to allow us to adjust then the height, because it does dip down at the aft there. So it's just about getting it high enough to clear this sump here, and I think without the head on we'll be able to do that. If we had the head on, there is a lifting eye at the back we could have used, but we might have suffered in terms of height and space we would have been able to get. But I guess we just need to give it a go and see what happens.
So you're happy with that main rope, yeah?
The
dark blue one.
Okay, so I'm just going to lift on that. Yeah, I think so. And then
it should just sort of come sliding out. going to come running up the ramp to start. You'll be surprised how heavy it is on that rope.
Okay.
You're probably going to have to lift, you know, where you pull on that line, but then also lift one of the other lines.
Yeah.
You'll probably have to do that.
Right, okay. So now, just pulling on this one. Right.
Careful, lift it up a bit because it's gonna, yeah. That's quite close to the C-string now.
So if I let go of this, is it coming back? No, it's not, is it? Because it's got the block. Right, can you see if it's clear of that strainer?
It is, no, stop. Keep going, but up more.
You might need to adjust the angle now.
Okay.
So to flatten the engine out.
Yeah, because the bottom bit is just on the...
Yeah. So if you
Do you need to keep the hold of that for you?
Shall I pour this blue one?
So which one are you pulling now?
The white and blue.
Oh yeah, okay.
Just gonna,
Yeah, you're definitely clear of it now.
Okay.
Way above, yeah.
Swing out
Bring it right now.
Yeah.
and lower it down.
How?
And you've got your engine out.
How do I lower it down?
Get hold of all four. Get hold of the whole bundle of dark blue.
Yep.
Unhitch the line
Yeah.
and then feed it.
Okay, yep.
And then up the coffee.
Nice. That was easy. This is our new doorstop.
That's right. Okay.
Cool.
Right, so we've now got the engine out and we've got the engine on its side. What we did first was drop the sump at off the bottom, and we were able to get all of the oil out. So that being done, that's all been cleared up. Not too messy. But well, it can be very messy. So just be very cautious when you drop the sump. So the engine has now been put on its side, and the next job, well, the only job I suppose, which is the reason we've got the engine out, is to get the connecting rod out from number one. To do that, you need to take the screws off of the big end bearing, and then you'll be able to get access to push the piston out of the block, and then the connecting rod will be attached to the piston and it will come with it. So you can just move around the flywheel there, so you can get basically access to where you need to be there. I'm just going to wipe inside here, and just to see the condition, because this is a sort of a softer white metal that is designed to wear first, and show you a bit of an indication on the condition of your engine. If you see sort of any scoring or marking here, it will just give you an indication of what's going on. It's supposed to be sort of nice and grey all through. If you start seeing any pinkish coloration, then it's a bad sign, I suppose. This is gonna stay on. Yeah, it's coming.
Done it?
It's not coming. Got piston rings I can see now. Yep.
There we go.
Okay.
Ta-da!
And that is bent, I think. The piston rings all seem loose and nothing's stuck there. So, new one of these and we'll be on our way. Thanks. So just having the piston out now and looking at everything and the condition of it, everything looks fine to us. And yeah, you've got the oil control ring here and these two are the compression rings. So you know, you could have one of these stuck or an issue, but these are all just sort of free and doing what they should be. So yeah, other than the bent rod, which is visible, whether it is on camera or not, we're not sure, but yeah, you can see it just as you catch it there. It's, yeah, it's not great. So there's one that's been ordered and it's on its way from China and it'll be here soon. I don't know yet, I need to move it. Very lucky escape with the plates though. They almost have gone. Jeez. Thanks, Storm. Okay, so we're going to replace the bent Conrod with our new to us Conrod that we've actually got from China, actually. So there's the Yanmars that we've got are really common, the engines are really common in the sort of Chinese forklifts, and so they've got hundreds of these kicking around, and cost wise, if you wanted to replace this in the UK, probably £370, but I think something like 100 quid we paid from China, and yeah, you just got to wait a couple of weeks for it to get here, so really happy with that. We've definitely identified what the problem is. And now it's just a case of swapping this out, popping it back in the engine, and off we go. Yeah, so what we'll do then, we'll just get a small pair of pliers, take off the little circlip there, and there's a gudgeon pin that runs straight through the middle there. We'll be able to push that out from the other side, and the Conrod will just drop out. Well, that's the idea anyway, so. And just make sure that you remember which way the Conrod went in to the piston before you take it out, so you can go back in the same way. We're quite lucky that we've got this little punch mark on the top of the piston, and that lines up with our serial numbers on here, so which will line up with the big end cap on there. I think be careful. And out it comes. We can now really see side by side the old and the new. And yeah, there's definitely sort of looks small, but that's definitely enough to have caused the issue and the low compression in that cylinder. Right, so we're also going to make sure that our piston rings are in the right location when we're putting it back in in the hole. So what you need to do is make sure that they're 120 degrees apart from each other, so not as they are now, because you've got this little hole here in each one, which obviously will compress together, but it still creates a path for gas to get through. So you're just going to make sure that they are in 120 degrees, away from each other, each of the three, but that the top one is in line with the pin that runs through. Okay, so engine's back upright and the new Conrod's in and the piston's in where it should be, and voila, we now have piston that comes to the very top of the cylinder. So yeah, that I think should be at least a good sign that get it all back together right, we might have solved a problem. Right, the time has come to put the head back on again, and here is what I've been doing. So obviously thoroughly cleaning up the mating surfaces on cylinder head and on the block, cleaning out all of the cylinders there as well, and yeah, I had a little bit of kind of compressed air just to go through all of these holes, mainly the bolt holes themselves. So last time I didn't really think about cleaning out these holes, and that could affect your torquing. So yeah, so basically got in there, cleaned everything out in there, and then got the compressed air to shoot anything out and dry those out afterwards. So just hoping really done everything we can. We're also going to lubricate the bolts as they go in to the holes, and that's, I don't know, again, it's going to give us a fighting chance of it all going to plan this time. So here we go. New head gasket, top facing up. That's more just for our reference, so we know we've recorded that going on correctly. Okay, and then this is the cylinder head.
Here's one we made earlier.
Here's one we made earlier. Everything's still on. We're down.
Ta-da!
Head bolts.
Right,
we're ready.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm just thinking of going up before it swings.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we're not going in.
You're
now.
keeping it here.
We're just going to go up.
How do you feel?
I'm a bit nervous. I don't know. I just think it's the last time, and the issues then and everything afterwards, and it's obviously just knocked confidence a little bit, I guess.